Today our topic is the problem of evil. Can it ever be solved? This is one of the oldest and most difficult questions in philosophy, religion, and even everyday life. It is a question that has troubled people for thousands of years. If there is a good and all-powerful God, why does evil exist in the world? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why is there suffering, pain, and injustice? These are not easy questions to answer, and they touch on some of the deepest mysteries of life. To begin, let's think about what we mean by evil. Evil can be divided into two main types: moral evil and natural evil. Moral evil is the evil that comes from human actions, like violence, cruelty, or injustice. Natural evil is the suffering that comes from nature, like earthquakes, diseases, or floods. Both types of evil raise difficult questions. If God is all-powerful, why doesn't he stop moral evil? If God is good, why does he allow natural evil? These questions are at the heart of the problem of evil. One way to approach this problem is through the idea of free will. Many philosophers and theologians argue that evil exists because humans have free will. Free will means the ability to make our own choices, and without it, we would not truly be human. If we could not choose between good and evil, we would be like robots, programmed to do only what is right. But with free will comes the possibility of evil. People can choose to do bad things, and those choices can cause suffering. In this view, evil is not God's fault. It is the result of human freedom. God allows evil because he values free will more than a world without suffering. But this explanation only solves part of the problem. It explains moral evil, but what about natural evil? Why do natural disasters and diseases exist? Some people say that natural evil is also connected to free will. For example, they argue that natural disasters are the result of the natural laws that govern the universe. These laws make life possible, but they also sometimes cause harm. Without these laws, the world would be chaotic and unpredictable, and life as we know it could not exist. So, in a way, natural evil is the price we pay for living in an orderly universe. Another way to think about the problem of evil is through the idea of soul-making. This idea comes from the philosopher John Hick, who argued that suffering and evil can help us grow and become better people. Just as a muscle grows stronger through exercise, our souls can grow stronger through facing challenges and overcoming difficulties. In this view, evil is not meaningless. It has a purpose. It helps us develop qualities like courage, compassion, and resilience. Without suffering, we might never learn these important lessons. But not everyone finds these explanations satisfying. Some people argue that the existence of evil is proof that there is no God, or at least not an all-powerful and all-good God. They say that if God truly cared about us, he would not allow so much suffering in the world. This is a strong argument, and it has led many people to question their faith. But others argue that we cannot fully understand God's reasons. They say that God's ways are beyond human understanding, and what seems like evil to us might have a greater purpose that we cannot see. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers a different perspective on the problem of evil. The Stoics believe that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. They taught that suffering is not inherently evil. It is our judgment of suffering that makes it evil. If we can change our perspective and accept what we cannot control, we can find peace even in difficult circumstances. The Stoics believed that the world is governed by a rational order, and that everything happens for a reason. Even if we cannot see the reason, we can trust that it exists. This does not mean that suffering is easy, but it does mean that we can find meaning in it. So, can the problem of evil ever be solved? The truth is, there is no simple answer. Different people find different answers, and each has its strengths and weaknesses. For some, the idea of free will and soul-making provides a way to understand evil. For others, the existence of evil is a reason to doubt the existence of God. And for still others, the Stoic approach offers a way to live with evil without being defeated by it. In the end, the problem of evil is not just a philosophical question, it is a personal one. Each of us must find our own way to make sense of suffering and evil in the world. We can look to philosophy, religion, or our own experiences for guidance. But no matter what answer we find, one thing is clear. The problem of evil challenges us to think deeply about life, meaning, and our place in the universe. It forces us to confront difficult questions and to seek answers that can give us hope and strength. One thing we can learn from the problem of evil is the importance of compassion. When we see suffering in the world, we are called to help those who are suffering. Whether it is through small acts of kindness or larger efforts to fight injustice, we can make a difference. Even if we cannot solve the problem of evil, we can work to reduce its impact. And in doing so, we can bring a little more light into the world. Another lesson is the importance of resilience. Life is full of challenges, and we cannot always control what happens to us. But we can control how we respond. By developing resilience, we can face difficulties with courage and strength. We can learn from our struggles and grow stronger because of them. This does not mean that suffering is good, but it does mean that we can find meaning and purpose even in the hardest times. Finally, the problem of evil reminds us of the importance of hope. Even in the darkest times, we can hold on to the belief that good can triumph over evil. We can trust that, in the end, love and justice will prevail. This hope can give us the strength to keep going, even when the world seems full of suffering and pain. In conclusion, the problem of evil is a complex and difficult question that has no easy answers. But by thinking deeply about it, we can learn important lessons about life, meaning, and our place in the world. We can develop compassion, resilience, and hope. And we can find ways to make the world a little better, even in the face of evil. The problem of evil may never be fully solved, but we can find ways to live with it and to create a life of meaning and purpose.